Good afternoon, dear parents, community, Universal Academy. This is a live coverage of the UA Spring Chess Tournament that just started. 6 players competing for the first place in this Spring Chess Tournament. Of 6 players right now in round one. First game is between Medina and between Hamid Al Shohati, Medina Kochi versus Hamid Al Shohati. This is a 10 minutes game. Each player has 10 minutes to complete their moves. And it looks like the French defense have been played against the opening of the white. And Hamid so far has won 2 pieces. Actually, Hamid has won knight, while Medina has won a pawn, and Hamid is ahead by 2 points. This game is going really fast. And the second game, we have Jane Ali from 6th grade playing against Mahal Shohati from 10th grade. And Vance Cruz's opening has been played. And the 2 players are tied so far. This is the first round. Mahal Shohati is threatening with her knight 3 pieces, but they're all protected and getting more advanced in the mid game. Jane has advanced her pawn to c4, threatening the knight. And the knight has nowhere to go except f6 or b6 or b4. Knight is advancing deep into the territory of Jane's board. Let's go to Martha's game against Sukaina. Martha from 7th grade is white, and Sukaina 9th grade is black, and this game has gone so far. Sukaina is 3 points winning this game so far. It's too early to make final decisions, of course. And Martha, she used the Reti opening, while Sukaina, she used the Ware defense against that opening. And about 1/3 of the time has expired for both players. And mid game is still empty. It looks like that this mid game is still empty and on for grabs. Martha has advanced her bishop, but it was exposed to Sukaina's bishop, and it's gone now, giving Sukaina 5-point advantage. Martha has moved her pawn to g4, but it was again exposed to Sukaina's knight, which took it right away with no hesitation. Rook to a7 by Martha, but again exposed to Sukaina's rook, and it's gone. Sukaina is way 11 points now winning this game. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's go back to the first game. The first game is over. Let's see the results of the first game. The first game, that was Maha Al-Shohati against Jane Ali. And it looks like that Maha has won that game. And she has a 1-point score so far in round one of the game. Medina versus Hamed, and Hamed is 10 point, has 10 points over Medina. The white is at 10 points more than the black, and has a strong point advantage, although the black has more control of the mid, or actually equal control. The next move is for Hamed, who seems spending some good time thinking about his next move. And Hamed decided to advance the pawn from c3 to c4. Hamed's rook is under threat from the king, but it's protected by the bishop. We'll see what's going to happen. Medina just got the queen of the white, reducing the advantage and actually flipping the game to her advantage. She's now advanced 1 point over Hamed, and the game continues. And the black advances deep into the territory. It's a check by Hamed to Medina. White is checking the black. There are 3 spots that the king can advance to, and it shows to Medina shows to advance the king to g7 to escape the check. Let's go back to Martha and Sukaina and see where the game is at. Sukaina is with an advantage of 16 points. She has gotten all of the white's knights, bishops, and 1 rook. but the queen's still surviving this game. And Martha has aligned her rook with her queen, but she's under check right now from Sukaina, which just advanced her king to f2, another check by the bishop at d4, and the king has closed down on Sukaina's bishop on h3. The bishop escaped, threatening the rook at e4, but what comes next can make a big difference. The rook eats at d4. The rook and queen are no longer aligned. And here's another check by the rook to Martha's king. Although Martha is at a loss of many pieces, but nevertheless, she has positioned whatever is left of her pieces in a strong position. The queen, it looks like Sukaina is moving the queen to enter the game. Let's go back to Hamid and Medina. And it looks like Hamid has gotten the queen of Medina, and now he took back the advantage by 8 points. And that's another pawn exchanged for another piece, exchanged for a bishop. That was a wrong move by Medina, who just lost her rook, giving Hamid even more advancement. Although Hamid is running out of time, he has 3 minutes, so Medina should play the time game right now. She has 4 minutes left while Hamid is running out of his last 3 minutes. And here's a check by Hamid. The king moves. Another check. And it seems that the king is going to move closer to the rook. Actually, she chose to move it to h8. And that's another check, which will not do anything but move the king even closer to the knight. And now the knight is free to be eaten by the black king. Let's see if Medina is going to notice this move. Actually, she chose to take the bishop. A very good decision. Hamid has advanced his pawn. And Medina is advancing her pawn, very close to getting a queen, and it seems that the queen is inevitable for Medina, and she has moved a pawn to the position of a queen, checking the king, and all of a sudden the game is tied and the boards are flipping. Medina has defended herself and started a new threat for the king by developing a pawn into a queen. Another check by Medina. Remember that Hamid has 2 minutes and 4 seconds left. And here is a threat to the knight. While Hamid's time is evaporating. Here's a check. King has decided to move away from the white's threat. Let's go to Martha and Sukaina, who are approaching the end of their game. There's a minute and 30 seconds left. While Sukaina still has an advantage by having 5 points advantage, but the game is very, very similar. Sukaina has one more rook than Martha, but she just lost it, and now both of them are exactly equal. The game now is very, very tight. We have a pawn facing a pawn. We have two rooks left. Here is a check. There's nothing to be done now except moving the king. The white pawn is much closer to the finish line than the black pawn, so that might be an advantage for Martha, but she's running out of time. Let's see what's going to happen. The game is really tight, and Martha is thinking Sukaina actually is thinking in her last 2 minutes. Let's see what happened here with Hamid and Medina. They are in the last minute of their game, and Hamid still has an advantage of 1 point now than Medina, who had the advantage previously. And the move now is for Medina, who's decided to move the king in. And Hamid is now approaching his last minute of the game. Here's a check. Let's get back to Martha, Sukaina. Sukaina approaching her last minute of the game. And if the game persists, it seems that it will be a tie. The king is approaching to interfere. And here's a check by Martha. The white is checking the black. The black decided to leave. There's another check. And now the white should lose a pawn. Now Sukaina has an advantage with 1 pawn over Martha. Let's see if she can play it to win in her last 28 seconds. 25 seconds left for Sukaina. She really has to play really fast at this point. That's the 17 last seconds. King is checked. 14 seconds left. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. It's a check. 2, 1. And it's over. Martha won by the time. On time, Martha won that first round of the tournament. And let's see who won the other game. The other game ended up with a tie, and that was round 1 of the games. So round 1 ended with Martha 1 point, Maha 1 point, Medina with half a point, Hamid with half a point, Jen Ali and Sukaina with no luck this round, and we're going to round 2. There will be 3 minutes break, and we will continue with round 2. Here's a minute break, and we'll be back with you. Ladies and gentlemen, we come back to you with round 2 of the Spring Chess Tournament live from Universal Academy. And round 2 is starting in 20 seconds. All right, and in this round, we have the semifinals with Medina playing against Maha and Martha playing against Hamid. Reti opening by Medina, who played the knight into f3 and then into d5 and then into d7 where it was lost. The Polish defense was played by the black, and now Medina is playing really fast, advancing into enemy's territory. She has a control of the mid game right now, has a control of the mid board. And the second game, Martha versus Hamid, Queen's Pawn opening. And we are already in the first 2 minutes of the game, and Hamid has taken a knight, while Martha has taken 2 pawns. And now Hamid has an advantage of 2 points, while Martha is moving her pawns into mid-game for the battle in the mid board. The queen has just moved, entering the game, and I see a check that might be played. Exactly, that's what happened. And Hamid played a check on the queen, and now it's defended by a bishop, and also the queen is threatened, but Martha lost a pawn. In the way, she lost a queen. The game has flipped. It seems that Hamid did a very fast move, not enough thinking, and he lost his queen. But the rook now has entered the game again, gaining a pawn. Martha is trying to gain more points. Hamid moved back the rook to protect the pawn on c7. The game seems to be played fast, and both players are taking their time. We go back to Medina and Maha, and Maha is already 8 points ahead, now threatening. Her rook is being threatened. Check by the pawn. That pawn that Martha kept pushing forward is now lost. Medina needs to spend a little bit more time thinking about her strategy in this game. She decides to advance the king to threaten the rook, which has moved to take the pawn. The black now is really approaching a checkmate. It is very dangerous for the white. Queens are facing each other, but each are protected. Check by the black. This is the obvious move. And the white now should lose a queen if Martha sees that move. She does, and it's a check. Very dangerous position for the white. Not much protection. Medina is running out of options to escape with her king. She pushes the pawn to cover. So another check. Again, Medina is managing to survive while Maha has gained 26 points over her. Let's go to Martha versus Hamid, who are in the mid-time of their game, with Hamid advancing by 6 points over Martha. It looks like Martha's king is in danger. Black has won. Maha Shohati won by checkmate. She has surrounded Medina's king, and this game's over. Good game, Medina. And now we go back to Martha versus Hamid in their last 4 minutes of the game. There's a check by Martha. Hamid's king escapes. Hamid moves the rook to e5 to threaten the bishop on c5. Black moves to d4 to threaten the rook on e5. And the rook moves to threaten the knight. Martha is trying to gain some ground since Hamid has 6-point advantage so far. As you know, in chess, every piece has an equivalent number of points. The pawn has 1 point. Bishops and knights have 3 points, rook has 5 points, the queen has 9 points. It's a check by Hamid, and Martha moves her king and threatens the knight, which escapes to c1. It's a check. Round 2 continues of the UA Universal Academy Spring Chess Tournament, with the final game of round 2 between Hamid Al-Shouhati in 8th grade and Martha Ali in 7th grade. Hamid has a 7-point advantage, but Martha is still surviving and now threatening the knight on c1, while Hamid is trying to push his rook to gain another queen. And a new queen is about to be made, and Martha will be in trouble. Martha has not given up, as you shouldn't in chess. Martha has to remember that Hamid has a minute 23 seconds left, and she might play him with time if she can't play him with pieces. The rook is gone, and so is time. Martha is approaching her last 2 minutes, while Hamid is approaching his last minute, trying to play faster. And here's a check. And Hamid is running out of his last minute of time. He has to be careful. 50 seconds left for Hamid. If Martha can just buy time, she will put Hamid in a weak position. Even he has a 20 points advantage. Now she's running out of options, but she decides to protect the king by bringing the knight. And here's a check. The knight escapes it. Hamid is approaching 41 seconds. And Martha is running out of her last minute. The queen comes in to finish up the king. But will Hamid have enough time to do that? Now Martha has to play very smart. But it looks like Hamid is going to put the king in a check position. No, he decides to escape with the rook. And his 25 seconds are up, but so is the game by checkmate, and Hamid won this game by checkmate. Congratulations, Hamid. Round 2 is over, and the final round, round 3, will start in 3 minutes. You got 3 minutes break, and it's going to be Hamid versus Maha Al-Shuhati. Hamid from 8th grade versus Maha from 10th grade. In 3 minutes, we'll be back with you with this final game of the Universal Academy Spring Chess Tournament. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, in the third round and final round of the UA Spring Chess Tournament. And it's starting in 60 seconds, and we'll have the final game of Maha Al-Shuhati in 10th grade playing against Hamid Al-Shuhati in 8th grade. Hamid has 1.5 points. He has won a game and tied a game, while Maha has won 2 games. She's rated 935. Hamid is rated 748. Is going to be an exciting game. Stay with us. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to Spring Chess Tournament at Universal Academy. It's Mr. Sharafuddin, Family Engagement Liaison, speaking to you, and a mentor for the Chess Club at Universal Academy. This is a virtual tournament taking place on chesskit.com. To join the Chess Club, please visit bit.ly/join chess. I will post it on the screen. This is the link to join the chess club. And this is the final game. Round 3 of 3. The final round will be Sukaina versus Medina and Maha versus Hamid. This is a very interesting opening. Never seen this before. It seems that Hamid is basically copying all the moves of Maha. Let's see how they're going to solve this problem. I'll leave you to watch this. Ladies and gentlemen, this game has been drawn, and the reason is that there are a lot of repeated moves, and if a repeated move is done 3 times, then it causes the game to be drawn. So right now we have 6 players, and with the drawn game, each one gained a point or half a point. So we have at the top 2, Maha Shuhati at 2.5 points and Hamid at 2 points, and we have 1 game still taking place. Sukaina versus Medina. Now, if Sukaina wins the game, she becomes the first place in this chess tournament. And if Medina wins the game, then Maha Shohati becomes number one in this tournament. So let's watch this game and see what happens. It's big stakes for Sukaina. Medina cannot win this tournament even if she wins this game, while Sukaina, she can win this game, this tournament by winning this game, and she has already at a 1 point advantage. And it looks like she is going to lose her rook, which she just did. Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like someone has withdrawn, and this game, this tournament is over. And it looks like Sukaina has withdrawn, and Maha is at the first place. And Hamid is at second place, and Sukaina at third place. So congratulations. Tournament is over. Actually, it's by checkmate. Sukaina won by a checkmate. She moved her queen to check the king, and both spots that the king can move to are threatened, and she won by a beautiful checkmate. Congratulations, Sukaina. You have won by a checkmate, and you have basically earned your third place, the bronze medal in this tournament. So again, Mahal Shohati, she won by 2.5 points, and Hamid by 2 points, Sukaina by 2 points. And because they're tied, she's tied with Hamid. Then they calculate tiebreakers using the points lost from the opponent. And congratulations for Maha, Hamid, and Sukaina, for everyone who played this game, Martha, Medina, and Jane. And good luck in the next tournament.